Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to CHOW Time Sports. I'm Chow.
I'm Pete, and a lot of things have happened over the past week, so without further ado, let's get right into the business.
Absolutely.
Starting off Thursday night, we have the Denver Broncos heading into Arrowhead as 10.5-point underdogs. Chow, you want to start us off here?
Yeah, I'll start us off. The Broncos, besides the Carolina Panthers, are debatably the worst team in football. There's some serious shit. I don't think there's much that has to be said about this. Give me the Chiefs, minus 10.5, and obviously giving them outright. This game is not going to be close. It's not going to be a contest. I really just don't think there's any explanation needed for this game.
Yeah, Russ hasn't been really doing much. He's been a decent fantasy option for all those who are also doing fantasy football. Other than that, I think by the trade deadline, this Broncos roster might become pretty barren. It looks like they might be offloading Jerry Jeudy and Courtland Sutton, maybe even some more big pieces, but we'll see as time goes on. This Chiefs team, I believe that their momentum is starting to actually lean forward now, and I think that this Chiefs team needs this divisional game to really get that momentum snowballing to officially make them one of the serious powerhouses in the NFL. They kept the game close, or the Jets kept the game close with them last week, but I believe that this is a game they'll really separate themselves from the pack, and they're really gonna blow out this Broncos team. With that being said, give me the Chiefs with the 10.5 points.
Absolutely.
Next up, we have the Baltimore Ravens heading into Tennessee as 3.5-point favorites. Lamar Jackson looked pretty good last week. He was throwing some good passes. His receivers, on the other hand, they really couldn't catch. They were having some serious problems with the hands. The defense looked pretty good, though. The Tennessee Titans, they were not able to contain Zach Moss. They've had a very strong run defense thus far, but I believe that really got exposed last week, and I feel like Lamar Jackson and some of the running backs in Baltimore are really going to be able to take advantage of this Titans defense. I think the Ravens are going to be able to hopefully play a little bit better on offense, catch some more passes, especially when the ball's being placed right in the hands like that, like how Lamar was doing last week. I feel like this game is going to be pretty one-sided. I feel like this is going to be a lot of Baltimore here. They're going to show out and prove to the league that they are a force in the AFC North. I think I have to go Baltimore with a 3.5 here.
I'm going to disagree here, Pete. Historically speaking, King Henry has always dominated the Baltimore Ravens. Always. And I don't know if it's just me, but I'm not sold on this Baltimore Ravens team. I do not think they are that good, honestly. Their receiving threats, there's not many of them. You have Mark Andrews, and outside of that, not really. Zay Flowers, the rookie,
he's been having a decent season.
He's having a decent season.
Not really standing out yet.
Right.
We're waiting for him to break out. I think that he will. I think he's very talented, but I think that he still has a lot to accomplish before he can really slate himself as the number one receiver on this team. But I see where you're coming from, but I just don't think that this Titans offense will be able to keep up with this Ravens offense is what it comes down to, in my opinion.
I guess, but
I think it's a one-score game. I think it's decided by a touchdown, but I think that's what it's decided by, a touchdown. 27-20, 30-23, something like that. I think the score gets up there, but I don't think the Tennessee Titans have what it takes to take down the Ravens.
I think Derrick Henry has a massive game here. Baltimore Ravens, they showed it last week. They are not a good offense. Steelers are not a good team, all right? Let's keep it real. They're not a good team, and their defense kept them in the game, really.
Their defense is phenomenal.
Their defense is good. Their defense is good, and that's why
when they need to. That's the reason Baltimore lost.
Yeah, and I can't get past this Baltimore offense. I really don't think it's good. And historically, like I said, King Henry has dominated the Baltimore Ravens. And for that reason, I think I'm going to go with Tennessee plus 3.5, and I'm going to take the money line for Tennessee.
You're going to take Tennessee out?
I am going to take the money line for Tennessee. I'm going to go bold on this.
Wow. Moving on. That game's also in London, by the way. If that has any difference.
This is in London?
Yeah, it's...
Give me King Henry still. Yeah, we ride with my original thought. Give me King Henry in the
To begin
Tennessee
the 1 o'clock
Titans.
slate, we have the Washington Commanders heading into Atlanta as 2.5-point underdogs. What do you think here, Chow?
Give me the Atlanta Falcons minus 2.5. I think their combination with Bijan, Tyler Algier, that offensive line, I think it really comes down to that in the trenches. To be honest, the Washington Commanders, like all year, everyone has been saying like they have an incredible front four, and they do, but it's not translating. It's not translating. They're not
On paper, they have a phenomenal front,
absolutely.
but on the field, it doesn't really look like that.
No, it does not one bit. And I think Atlanta's offensive line, which they have a great O-line over there, I think they're going to dominate the trenches. I think they're gonna get the run game going. Obviously, they're gonna get the screens and passes out into the flats to the running backs, so like Bijan. And then I think Drake London and not really Kyle Pitts, more Jonnu Smith now are gonna get it. They're gonna get it done over the top. And I just don't see the Commanders being able to keep up with them. Like the Commanders' offense, I don't think they're gonna be able to keep up. The Falcons actually have like a decent defense.
They have a decent I think
Jesse
Sam
Bates on the
Howell
back end
is going to struggle against especially the corners, Jesse Bates and Jesse Bates a corner or safety?
Jesse Bates is the safety.
And then A.J. Terrell especially. Yep. I believe that Sam Howell is going to struggle throwing the ball here. I don't think it's going to be a situation like last week where they're going to be playing like catch up. I feel like they're going to start off down and stay down. I feel like Atlanta is going to pull away with this one rather easily, especially for that home crowd.
Yeah, definitely. I think
I got to go with the Falcons with the 2.5 here. I like the Falcons by a field goal. I think that's a great line.
Yeah, they're gonna move to 4-2 on the season.
Next up, we have the Minnesota Vikings heading into Chicago as only 2.5-point favorites. Justin Jefferson has been placed on IR.
Yep.
Probably going to be out anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks.
Probably around there.
This is the time where Jordan Addison needs to step up. He's a rookie. This as weird as it is to say, like this is a situation that like a rookie receiver like Jordan Addison would almost dream of.
Yeah, a chance to prove himself.
Yeah, he's got the chance to prove himself. It's right here. The Vikings desperately need this win. Starting off the year 1-5 is not something you want to do as a football team. Minnesota needs this win. I believe players like T.J. Hawkinson, Jordan Addison,
KJ Osborne.
I believe that they're going to have to step up, and I believe they have what it takes, especially against the Chicago Bears team. Khalil Herbert, I would say one of the best offensive players on Chicago outside of Justin Fields and DJ Moore. I'd say their best running back, not going to play. I don't believe Roschon Johnson is that great.
No.
Yeah, he's a good, I'd say, third and short down back. He can fight for those 2 yards on a third and short, but I don't believe he's really a 3 down back like what Chicago needs, especially out of like someone like Khalil Herbert, who I believe is very talented. With that being said, I believe that this Minnesota Vikings offense is still great. I think that Kirk Cousins and crew they're gonna play up. They're gonna play better than the Chicago Bears, and I believe that they're gonna take this one down. Give me the Vikings with the 2.5.
Yeah, I agree with you, Pete. There's not much really that I like about Chicago. They had a great game last week. Phenomenal. Justin Fields looked great. DJ Moore looked great. Thank you, DJ Moore, for fantasy. However, this offense, I don't think the Bears are going to be able to keep up. I know Minnesota's defense is not the best. They have Harrison Smith on the back end, Danielle Hunter at the end, but like
it's not great, but I feel like it's
not
still
great,
better than
but
Chicago's.
I do think it is still I do think it is still better than Chicago's offense.
I think the team that's better on both sides of the ball is going to win this game. I have to go
Absolutely.
with the Vikings.
And I think the Vikings offensively are just going to dominate the Bears defense. The Bears defense is not good. They are quite awful. And I love what you said earlier. For Jordan Addison, huge week for him. And KJ Osborne, TJ Hawkinson to all step up. Obviously, TJ Hawkinson has been a leader in that like receiving room, other than Justin Jefferson. But I think this is a huge week for Jordan Addison and the Vikings. They're going to move to 2-4 on the season. So yeah, give me that -2.5.
Next up, we have the Seattle Seahawks, the 3-1 Seahawks, fresh off of their bye, coming into Cincinnati to face off against the 2-3 Cincinnati Bengals. Week 5 came around, and we both finally decided to go against the Bengals, and the Bengals looked like a good football team. Jamar Chase finally popped. Joe Burrow had a great game. The running game was established. They were able to move the ball, I would say, pretty easily. But I think Seattle coming off a bye, Kenneth Walker fully rested, Geno, he's been dealing with an injury. I believe that coming off the bye, a week of rest is what he needed. DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett. I believe that this Seattle Seahawks team is just, I feel like that rest is really going to pay off here heading into this 5th week of football. I think that's the Seattle Seahawks are going to have what it takes to take down this Bengals team and drop the Bengals to 2-4. I think give me the Seahawks 3.5 points.
Yeah, you kind of, I was hoping you were going to say that because that was going to be my take, I think. I look at the Cincinnati Bengals. They played great last week, but they did play the Arizona Cardinals. All right, the Arizona Cardinals, they've exceeded expectations this year already. Even though they're 1-4, they have played quite well, to be fair.
Cardinals were in this game until very late in the 4th quarter, too.
Right.
I really was concerned for the Bengals heading in, until the very end of the game. Even though James Conner got hurt, they had this, what even is that guy's name? Manuel Mercado?
Amari DiMercado.
Yeah, they had that guy running the football, and he was putting up production. Unfortunately, Josh Dobbs and crew could not pull off the comeback late in the 4th quarter, but I still think that this Bengals team is not, I would say, up to par with some of these better teams. T. Higgins may or may not play. I don't really think that he's going to be that much of a difference maker. I like the Seahawks with the 3.5.
Yeah, I like the Seahawks also 3.5. I know the Seahawks give up a lot of passing yards to almost every team. They're 30th or something in passing yards.
They're one of the worst passing defenses.
Yeah, one of the worst passing defenses. But I think the corners over there, Tariq Woolen and their rookie Witherspoon, are going to show up this week. They're going into Cincinnati, which is that's a tough place to play.
Absolutely.
Especially recently with the Bengals actually being pretty good. But I look at last week and Arizona was able to move the ball on them. Josh Dobbs did throw 2 picks, which didn't help them, but even then they put up 20 points and they were in it till the 4th quarter. And that was with James Conner going down, and as the backup, he started
playing good football.
Yeah, and I think if the Seahawks can get Kenneth Walker involved, maybe that'll open up the play action game a little bit, and then as soon as you know it, Tyler Lockett's going to have a 50-yard reception down the field. And I just think this Seattle Seahawks offense, if Geno Smith can be smart with the ball, control the game, and dominate the line of scrimmage, at least in the sense of being able to run the ball for 4 yards a carry, I think they'll be fine. They'll be able to take down these Cincinnati Bengals. So with that being said, give me the Seattle Seahawks plus 3.5. They're going to move to 4-1 on the season.
Yeah, I believe that too. Next up, we have the San Francisco 49ers heading into Cleveland as only 5.5-point favorites. The The Cleveland Browns, Deshaun Watson might or might not play. P.J. Walker might be the quarterback for the Browns this week.
Wow.
I don't think that guy knows. I don't think any quarterback Cleveland puts at the helm of their team knows what's coming for them in Cleveland.
No.
This San Francisco 49ers team is legit.
Absolutely.
They hung 40 points on, I would say, the third best defense in football.
Yeah, that's a fair.
I would say
fair
they
thing to say.
like the third best defense in football. 40 points. And they only let up 10 against the Dallas Cowboys. Then again, Dak Prescott is not great. The Cowboys offense has been pretty explosive against, I'd say, some weaker opponents. But this San Francisco 49ers team is a force to be reckoned with. The Browns, Jerome Ford has been playing good. DTR had a rough week 2 weeks ago. I mean, they're coming off of a bye. I just don't believe that the Cleveland Browns have anything that can stand up to this offensive and defensive juggernaut in the San Francisco 49ers. Give me the Niners. Give me the Niners by 10. Give me the Niners by 15. Give me the Niners by 20 here. Whatever the spread is for the Niners, I would take it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the interesting thing to watch is Myles Garrett on Trent Williams. I don't know if they're going to move Myles Garrett to the right side so that he's going against the right tackle, because Trent Williams is the best left tackle in football. No debate about it. He is him. I think that'll be a nice matchup to watch, though, throughout the game.
Absolutely.
But I don't think that makes a difference. I think no matter where Myles Garrett is, he might have a little bit of an impact. But
he might get a couple rushes. He might get a knockdown. But I don't think Brock Purdy's name will be added to that
little cape.
Yeah, his little cape
of
sacks. I don't think Brock Purdy's going to go down from Myles Garrett.
From Myles Garrett. No. I think the San Fran defense is this is one of the best defenses I've seen in my lifetime.
I think the possession distribution here might be somewhere in the ballpark of like 40 to 20 minutes here.
Yeah.
40 minutes on the Niners, 20 minutes on Cleveland. It might even be worse than that. But the only reason I could see it being closer is because of how quickly the Niners are able to drive down the field. I mean, I don't think the Niners might not even see a third down this game. This team is they're unbelievable.
Yeah, I just think the San Francisco 49ers are the most dominant team in football. And although the Cleveland Browns defense is playing very well this year, I do not think they are going to be able to. I don't think they're going to be able to slow down the San Francisco on offense, and vice versa. I don't think they're going to be their offense. Even if Deshaun Watson was there, I still don't think that their offense would be able to move the ball on this defense. That's how good this defense is.
I think barring a serious injury to the 49ers, as in like Christian McCaffrey, Brock Purdy, George Kittle, maybe like Fred Warner, Trent Williams, like barring a serious injury to any of those real playmakers over there, this team could very well go 17-0, make it undefeated, run to the Super Bowl.
Absolutely.
In my opinion. I think that this 49ers team is they've got something special over there. That Mr. Irrelevant, he's something.
Mr. Irrelevant, he's smart with the ball. Doesn't do anything silly with it. He makes good reads, goes through his progressions, finds his receivers, and he is doing everything that they're asking of him. He's not doing anything more. He's just playing very smart football, and I think the 49ers crushed the Browns in Cleveland. I don't even think it's like a contest whatsoever.
I don't think it's close.
So yeah, give me the Niners minus 5.5.
Next up, we have the Carolina Panthers, the 0-5 Panthers, who, I mean, unfortunately for them, they're leading the race for Caleb Williams, which kind of sucks for them considering they just drafted Bryce Young. 13.5-point underdogs, 2 touchdown underdogs to Miami.
I'll start us off with this one. As much as I hate to say it, give me Miami minus 13.5. I hate to see it because they're in the division with the Bills, but this Panthers team is bad. They are bad. The only bright spot on this team, there's only a couple bright spots on this team. I won't say there's only one. The first one being Adam Thielen. Adam Thielen has exceeded all expectations this year. He has really gone into that wide receiver room, and he has risen up as a leader. And not only that, he is making plays on the football field. And so any fantasy owners, good on you for drafting him or trading for him because he has been a dog. Outside of that, obviously you've got Brian Burns. I'm not too sure if he's been making too much noise this year, honestly, but he's still one of the best pass rushers in the league. You can't deny that. But outside of that, I mean, there's not much else that you really look at Carolina and say, hey, I like that.
I think that it's just going to come down to an offensive battle. I think the defense that's going to be played is like their defense is going to be offense, and I believe that the Miami Dolphins are going to be able to really score on these Panthers. They had a rough game. I mean, the Panthers had a really rough game in Detroit last week. 2 fourth-quarter touchdowns. I mean, they still lost by almost 20. I can't see a way that the Carolina Panthers keep this game close. The Miami Dolphins have something to prove. They're really fighting to stay in first place in the AFC East, and I think that this game only helps them here. So give me the Dolphins minus the 13.5. I would take them by 20 if that was an option here.
Absolutely. Miami's just too explosive, and yeah, Panthers have no chance.
Next up, we have the Indianapolis Colts, best team in football, heading into Jacksonville with Gardner Minshew at the helm. 3.5-point underdogs. Jacksonville coming off of a big win in London, basically a home game, 2 straight home games they've had. Now they're coming back to Jacksonville, and the Colts are invading. They're hungry. They want to win 2 straight divisional games here. And Jacksonville and Indianapolis, they have a history of beating each other in the opposing house.
Yep.
They have a real history of that. I believe that, especially with Jonathan Taylor back, it opens a new door. It's something that they didn't have in that Week 1 matchup. Then again, Gardner Minshew, he's talented. He's been playing great football. He's been stepping up to the plate when Anthony Richardson's been hurt. Unfortunately, it looks like he's going to miss a minimum of 6 weeks. But I believe Gardner Minshew, he's serviceable. He's talented.
Absolutely. He's definitely
and I believe that this is a game that the Colts can go into Duval and take down the Jacksonville Jaguars, who just defeated the mighty Buffalo Bills. Give me Gardner Minshew and the Indianapolis Colts plus 3.5.
Yeah, I agree. I think with JT back, even without him, they have Zach Moss, who I never thought I'd say is looking like a great back, because he was a Buffalo Bill at a point. But really, it's that offensive line that's doing work down there in Indianapolis.
Ryan Kelly, Will Fries, Quentin Nelson, yep. they're moving people down in those trenches. Line is looking like the 2019 line that only allowed about 17 sacks to Phillip Rivers. So right. This line is looking great. They're moving people. They're moving the ball down the field. They're chewing up clocks, slow possessions. The defense, the Colts defense has always been a bend, don't break defense. They always tend to let up at least a field goal, especially against these better offenses. They get pushed into their own territory, but they tend to stand strong. I believe against this Jacksonville offense, they'll be able to stand strong, just like they almost did Week 1. The reason that they lost that game Week 1, crucial fourth quarter turnover in their own territory. I think without that alone, the Colts would have won that game, thus potentially making the Colts 2-0 against Jacksonville this year. I believe that they are going to go 1-1 against Jacksonville this year. Give me the Colts.
Yeah, I'm going to agree. Give me the Colts plus 3.5, giving them straight out money line. I think even though Anthony Richardson is gone, JT is back, which is going to solidify your run game. And Gardner Minshew is more of a passing quarterback. He's going to hang in the pocket, deliver downfield, which is what I kind of think they need this game. Something to even out the attack.
They need to open up the field here. Josh Downs especially, this is a game where I think he really needs to play well. He has been playing pretty well. He's rostered in a lot more fantasy football leagues than the past weeks. Kylan Granson has been playing great football, the tight end. Michael Pittman, I think that this is a game where he finds himself and plays very well. Zach Moss and Jonathan Taylor, I believe that they might turn this into a two-headed monster kind of offense here with this run game. And in my opinion, I think it'll work. You have two healthy, athletic, strong backs. I believe that you can march down the field easily with that kind of offense, just like Cleveland the past however many years.
Absolutely, and I'm looking forward to seeing JT back out on the field. That two-headed monster in the run game you talk about, I think that's going to open up a lot of things in the passing game to allow guys like Josh Dobbs and Michael Pittman to find space and create plays down the field. And yeah, I mean, that being said, I think the Colts have a great chance coming into Duval to make that happen. I think last week Jacksonville Jaguars played a great game last week, but
I think it was a sloppy game last week. The Bills played bad. They played really bad in my opinion, and they still scored 20 points.
Yeah, it's not our best showing. It didn't help that we lost a lot of starters on defense, and then the time zone thing. So I just think that although the Jacksonville Jaguars did win last week against a great opponent,
I think they got away with one.
Yeah, I don't think that they're going to be able to keep continuing to do this.
Yeah, the better team definitely lost in London last week.
Yeah, and so I see the Colts coming into Duval and bringing them back down to.
I appreciate
bringing
that.
them back down to earth. Absolutely.
Next up, we have the New Orleans Saints heading into Houston as 1.5-point favorites.
I'll start us off. I think this game, I think the line is great on this. I think it's a lot closer game than some people might think. That being said, I am going to take the Saints minus 1.5. I'll look at the Houston Texans. CJ Stroud has impressed us all. He has absolutely impressed us all.
He's playing great football.
Yes, he's playing phenomenal football. That being said,
we're still waiting for his first turnover.
Yes, we are still waiting.
No, his first interception.
First interception,
He has a pair of fumbles.
Yes.
But we're still waiting for that first interception,
which it might come this week.
I don't think it will.
The New Orleans Saints have got a hell of a defense. I'll say that. They got a great run stoppers in Demario Davis, Cam Jordan, Marcus Davenport. On the back end, you got Marshawn Lattimore. I think this defense really.
Tyrann Mathieu as well. He found the end zone last week.
He did find the end zone against the Patriots last week. I see this defense, and I don't think C.J. Stroud's going to be able to put up enough points to get past them, especially with the New Orleans Saints. Granted, their offense isn't great. They're not great by any means, but Kamara came back last week. He's getting into a rhythm. Chris Olave, he hasn't been playing incredible the past couple of weeks, but that's not going to continue that way. Chris Olave is a phenomenal receiver. His production is going to increase, and got Michael Thomas as well, still as your wide receiver too. He's been quiet, but I think this is a game where they really put a licking on the Houston Texans. I just don't think they're going to be able to keep up C.J. Stroud and Will Anderson on the defensive side of the ball. I don't think they're going to be able to hold this Saints defense on both the offensive side of the ball and the defensive side of the ball.
I don't really have as lengthy of an argument as you do for this one, but I faded the Saints last week, and I got burned for it. Burned pretty bad. But I'm going to do it again. I like the Texans here. I think that C.J. Stroud I think that C.J. Stroud's the better quarterback, and I think the better quarterback is going to win the football game. I know the Saints' defense is a little bit better. Their receivers are a little bit better. The running backs better. Defense, probably. Did I say defense already? The defense is better.
So. Yeah.
I just think that this is one that the Saints go into coming off of a massive win, feeling like they could push over anybody, and I think they get smacked right in the face here by these Houston Texans, just like I feel like everyone else has who's lost to them. I think that the Texans, they're the team that they throw the first. If they can throw the first punch, they jump on you and they don't get off. I think that this Texans team, if they can establish themselves and drive down the field right out of the gate, put up points right out of the gate, maybe go up a score, 2 scores. I think that this team they're definitely capable of holding a lead, and I'd say they're definitely capable of creating one in this game. I like the Texans here. Give me the Texans.
Fair enough.
Give me C.J. Stroud and crew. As much as I hate going against other AFC South teams, give me the Texans there. Next up, we have the 1-4 New England Patriots. Wow.
Shocking. Didn't think they'd be this bad.
Going
honestly.
into Las Vegas to face off against the Raiders, 3.5-point dogs. I don't see what happened to them last week happening again, but all week when I've been looking at this, all I can see is Chandler Jones just stiff-arming Mac Jones in the face like he did last year in this game. It's all I can see. It's just Chandler Jones just hit-sticking him and just running the ball into the end zone to secure the win with zeros on the clock. That's all I can see when I think of this game. I mean, I don't think that's going to happen again, but I think that the Raiders are the better team here.
Absolutely.
I think that they're going to be able to get it done. This New England Patriots defense is hurting. Their offense,
atrocious.
Yeah, not great.
It's
Matt
bad.
Jones is really not looking like himself as of lately. He's had moments. I mean, he's looked decent at some points, but I don't believe that Mac Jones is going to win the quarterback battle here, and I don't believe that the Patriots defense is going to play up to the level of this Raiders offense. And I believe that the Raiders are going to win here. As far as the 3.5, I feel like this game can be decided by a field goal. I like the Raiders minus 3.5. I like the Patriots plus 3.5, but if I have to take one, I got to take the Raiders. I think that the Raiders are definitely capable of winning this game by a full score.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely agree with you. There's nothing on this Patriots team that scares me one bit. Their offense is abysmal. They can get nothing going on in the passing game. Mac Jones continues to make mistake after mistake. And you look at the ground game is not working with Ramondre Stevenson.
He was scoring. He was a fantasy unicorn last year.
Yeah.
Where is he? I don't know where he is.
Nowhere to be seen.
I have no idea where that guy is.
Yeah, this Patriots offense is really just tragic. And it's not even that the Raiders defense is that good. The Raiders defense, they're not that good. The only thing that stands out is Max Crosby, of course, because Max Crosby
I feel like that Max Crosby and the Raiders defensive front will be enough to take on Ramondre Stevenson head-to-head.
Absolutely.
And I feel like slow down this Patriots their only offensive attack, which is the run game, which they couldn't get going against New Orleans. Then again, the Raiders defense a little bit softer, not as many big-name players. I just don't think that the Raiders defense are going to get pushed over like some people might think. I believe that the Raiders defense and the Raiders offense and this Raiders football team are going to win and cover by 3.5.
Yeah, and then on the flip side, I mean, the Raiders offense, Jimmy G is not amazing, but you look at his receivers. Devontae Adams, he had a quiet week last week. I think that's gonna change this week. I think Devontae Adams is gonna have a great game. Jacoby Myers, what a surprise he's been this year. Jacoby Myers has been
playing phenomenal football.
Phenomenal. And then Josh Jacobs, look for him to be active in not only the run game but the passing game. He has been catching a lot of balls for But he's been catching a lot of footballs for Jimmy G in this Raiders offense, and I just don't think the Patriots are going to be able to hold him. Give me the Raiders minus 3.5.
Next up, we have the 4-1 Detroit Lions heading into Tampa Bay to face off against the freshly off a bye 3-1 Buccaneers. I'll start us off here. The Detroit Lions have been playing phenomenal football. They hung 40 points on the Panthers last week. Panthers not a great defense, not a great football team, but still, 6 touchdowns is 6 touchdowns. Jared Goff, I believe he's the better quarterback.
Absolutely.
I believe Detroit has the better receiving core, with or without Amon-Ra St. Brown. I feel like they have. I feel like the receiving core is going to be. I believe that this Detroit team is going to play up to par. They're going to find the end zone. This Buccaneers, I feel like they're going to be playing a lot of catch-up this week. I feel like I'm taking every favorite this week, but I feel like the better team's got to win, right?
Definitely.
I mean, Baker Mayfield has been playing pretty well. I think it's time for him to cool off a little bit. 3-1's a little bit out of his, price range, but I believe that Jared Goff and crew definitely have what it takes to advance to 5-1 on the season here. Give me the Lions with 3.5.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to agree with you on that one, Pete.
I also really feel like the Lions are just going to, as the season goes on, I feel like this Lions team is really going to start steamrolling people.
Yeah, this Lions team is no joke. That offensive line with David Montgomery behind it, they're doing damage to opposing defenses. And then not only that, I mean, Sam Laporta has popped up out of nowhere. He's been playing phenomenal. I'm not going to say out of nowhere, but Sam Laporta, holy, that guy's been playing incredible. The whole team, that whole offense, it's a well-oiled machine. Jared Goff is a smart quarterback. He doesn't put the ball into danger very often. It works. It's just a very well-coached team by Dan Campbell. And on the defensive side of the ball, Aiden Hutchinson is looking like he should have been the number 1 pick overall in last year's draft. He had a sick interception last week. I don't know if you saw it.
Yeah,
my God,
that was incredible.
He is ridiculous, and that whole defense. Well done. I give the whole Detroit Lions coaching staff major props for what they have done, especially Dan Campbell. Both the offensive and defensive side of the ball have looked great. They've established a pass rush. The offensive line has looked amazing, top 10 line in football. Outside of that, like the receiving core is great with Amon-Ra, Sam Laporta now. They've got
Jameson Williams back.
Jameson Williams is back. Josh Reynolds. They have so many.
The way that you beat
weapons.
This Detroit Lions team is through the air, and I feel like with Baker Mayfield having to throw a lot of passes, might not end well. This game, it might be a 1-score game, but I feel like that score is going to be a touchdown. I feel
Absolutely.
like this game, it very well could end 35-28, 42-35. This could be a literal shootout, in my opinion. I think that this game could be very entertaining to watch. It's going to be one that I'm definitely going to enjoy seeing.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be as much of a shootout. I think Detroit's going to run away with it towards the end of the game. Yeah, I think these Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they're not ready for the Detroit Lions coming up this week. So that being said, give me Detroit minus 3.5.
Next up, we have the Arizona Cardinals heading into Los Angeles to face off against the Rams as 6.5-point dogs. I feel like there's really not much to say here. Cardinals finally rode with them, and we finally got burned by them.
Yeah.
I believe that, this Rams team, they've been playing decent football. Matt Stafford has been playing pretty decently.
He's been playing very well. Matt Stafford has played extremely well.
Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp, Tyler Higbee. They just shipped off Van Jefferson to Atlanta.
Van Jefferson and a 7th for a 6th.
That's a hard loss for Los Angeles.
It's not as bad as you think.
I'm joking.
I know.
Tutu Atwell basically stole that guy's job. And I just don't think that the Cardinals, especially without James Conner, I feel like he's the real engine to this Arizona Cardinals.
Absolutely.
This Cardinals team, and I just don't believe that without James Conner, the Cardinals are going to be able to get much of anything going.
Yeah, I'll make this one quick and simple. Los Angeles minus 6.5.
Lock me in.
Yeah, lock me in for Los Angeles for the Rams minus 6.5. Their defense, I did not think they were going to look anywhere near as good as they have. They got a lot of young pieces that are working together, and they're a decent unit over there. And I think without James Conner for the Cardinals, they don't have much threat to this this Rams team other than Marquise Brown, who's been having a sneakily good season. All right,
especially for you fantasy owners.
Yes.
He's been having a pretty, I'd say, high-end wide receiver 2, borderline wide receiver 1 kind of season.
I don't know if I'd go as far as say borderline wide receiver 1. Definitely, he's a great wide receiver.
Especially in my league, there are some people who have bad receivers.
That's fair.
I would say Hollywood Brown is definitely a guy that you're happy you drafted.
Absolutely. But this Los Angeles Rams offense, especially with Cooper Kupp back, last week he put up over 100 yards, I believe, in his first week back.
Kyron Williams has established himself as a solid runner.
Mm-hmm. And then Puka Nacua is still doing his thing, even with Cooper Kupp back. And you pair that with Tutu Atwell, who's not going to have as big of a role anymore, but he's still a great option for the Rams. I'd
say he's a great third option for Matt Stafford.
Absolutely, and then can't forget about Tyler Higbee. Tyler Higbee is always there. He always comes through when they need a big play. The Los Angeles Rams are going to take this one -6.5. I have no doubt in that.
Next up, we have the New York Jets hosting the 5-0 Philadelphia Eagles. This Jets defense has stood strong, I would say, in every game this year. I exclude the Dallas game because Zach Wilson had 2 turnovers in his own territory, and it's really not hard for that Dallas team to move the ball 30 yards to score a touchdown.
Yeah.
I think that this Jets defense, these guys might be one of the only 2 teams able to stop the brotherly shove. I think that this Jets team is tough. They're a bunch of dogs. And I believe that Zach Wilson in this offense, especially with Breece Hall, he's moving like a runaway train now. He's off the snap count. I believe that Breece Hall is going to have a good game. The Zach to Garrett Wilson connection is going to be established. Tyler Conklin he's been a serviceable pass catcher.
Yes, sir.
I feel like this Jets offense will be able to, I would say, get going against the Philadelphia Eagles, but I don't think it's going to be enough for them to win. This Eagles team is tough. They're scoring, they're stopping opposing offenses, but I believe this game is close. I believe it's very close. I like the Eagles outright, but give me the Jets to cover the 6.5 points.
Wow. I don't think this game is much of a close game whatsoever.
Because I know Eric is back at home, and he's sitting there cheering that I just took the Jets plus 6.5. I think that this game is close. I like the Jets. They've been playing phenomenal football on the defensive side, but who knows? Maybe this Philadelphia Eagles team, I think it's very possible that this Eagles team absolutely torches them. I'd be much more comfortable with a 7.5 point spread. I feel like if I could take them by a little bit more than a touchdown, I'd be more comfortable. But I'm taking them 6.5.
All right. Now that you're done spreading some false information, nobody listen to this guy. Eric, I know you're watching. Philadelphia Eagles are going to obliterate the New York Jets this week. Breece Hall this, Breece Hall that. That offense is going to have no answers for this defense. This defensive front is going to dominate in the trenches. Breece Hall is not going to have over 100 rushing yards. He's going to have 56 rushing yards. 56 rushing yards on the dot.
I'm trying to think. What other top tier defense has the Jets played this year? They played the Cowboys.
Played the Bills.
And they played the Bills. And they beat the Bills.
All right, that was week 1.
They beat the Bills.
That was.
They beat the Buffalo Bills.
Week 1 is all right. Get that out of here. Week 1 is not a true sign of how your team's going to do. All right, let's. The Kansas City Chiefs lost week 1.
Detroit's 5-1. They lost to a serious football team. And you're over here saying the Jets
That
are going to
being
get
said-
pushed over by these Eagles.
That being said, they are
Give
going
me
to
the
get.
Jets
They're
plus
going.
6.5.
No, they're going to. All right, enough of this guy. They're going to get pushed over. This offense is going to dominate their defense. They let the freaking Denver Broncos. The Denver freaking Broncos put up 21 points on them. That's the Denver Broncos we're talking. The horrible Denver Broncos.
In Mile High.
That doesn't matter.
You're sucking wind in Mile High.
No. The Philadelphia Eagles are going to steamroll the New York Jets this upcoming weekend. I like the Philadelphia Eagles minus 6.5. I like the Philadelphia Eagles minus 10.5. I like the Philadelphia Eagles minus 13.5. They are going to dominate the New York Jets on both sides of the ball, and it's going to be no contest. You should just give the Eagles the win this week, all right? Don't even play the game. Zach Wilson
absurd.
and Breece Hall do not know what's coming.
That is absurd.
I'll start us off with this one too. While I'm
While you're on a little psycho tirade.
While I'm hot.
Keep going. Keep going.
First off, Matt Milano, Daquan Jones, get well soon. All right. Matt Milano is out for the year. Our starting linebacker, who is the second best linebacker in the league, only second to Fred Warner.
Easily a top 3.
He was the second best in the league. Now he's injured, so I'll say was, but when he was healthy, he was the second best linebacker in the league, and it's sad to see him go for the season. Daquan Jones, however, I know he's going to be undergoing surgery, but he does have potential to come back this season, which would be huge for my Buffalo Bills. Did you know Daquan Jones had the highest, I think it was the highest win rate for pass rushers of D tackles in the league up until he got injured? Daquan Jones is mightily underrated, and he is a phenomenal run stopper. I just want to say get well soon to those boys. We need you. But that being said, we're still the Bills minus 14.5. Yeah, hammer it. We're gonna destroy this lowly New York Jets team or Giants team. Brian Daboll coming back into Buffalo. This is gonna be bad. This is gonna be really bad.
As much as I want to say that it's like a get-right football game for the Bills after that devastating loss in London.
That was all right. London games are also fake. Those games are not actually.
London
games are
I think
actually
if that
trash.
game, even if it was played in Duval, I think the Bills would have won. They just did not look good. I think that the jet lag and I don't know, maybe it was the water.
Roger Goodell, did you see what he was saying?
They did not look good. What did he say?
He was saying how it's an experiment. Like he was literally experimenting about like these London teams or like these games in London and like other teams coming in only on a couple days, or a couple days before. Granted, that is partly on us for not coming in sooner, but he's saying it's literally an experiment, which is crazy. And that was counted as a home game for the Bills. There was a ton of Bills fans there, to be honest.
Basically was a home game.
But
there was so much blue over there.
There was a ton. But yeah, that being said, this Giants team is horrible with or without Saquon Barkley.
I feel like Saquon Barkley
smash 'em.
is a difference maker. I think if he plays, this game won't be close, but it'll be 2-score close. Like they're saying that the spread is saying more than 2 touchdowns. And I feel like with the Bills losing some of those big names on their defense,
which is not good.
The Giants aren't going to be, I would say, put down that easily. The Giants team is terrible. They have not put up, they haven't put up, I don't think, close to what they've put up against the Cardinals in any of their last however many games.
No.
But I believe that this is a game where they might just hang around and cover 14.5 points. I mean, like, that's 2 touchdowns. Like, this game, I believe that this game could be 35-21, 28-14, 28-17. I feel like the Giants are going to be able to move the ball against some of these absent run stuffers that the Bills have. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. If the Bills didn't lose as many players as they did last week, I would take the Bills by 16.5.
I agree.
But I feel like that it's gonna make a difference. I have to go with the New York Giants plus 14.5. I mean I think the Bills win easily. It's just I think come garbage time, Daniel Jones and crew might be able to, I don't know, Tyrod Taylor might come in and score a touchdown to make it a 14-point game at the end of the game.
I don't hate it, just for the viewers and for you to know. Giants put up 0 points against the Cowboys. Cardinals game, scrap that. That was a fluke. Put up 12 points against the Niners. All right, so that's
better than the Cowboys did.
Niners are still covering that 14.5. Seahawks, who don't have an incredibly good defense, they let up 3 points. They won 24-3. That's covering. Dolphins, the Dolphins don't have a great defense either, and they covered the 14.5. That was the line on that. It would just cover. They won by 15. So just putting that out there, they have not covered 14.5 all year.
I'm sticking with it.
And the Bills' defense, even riddled with injuries, is still better than some of these defenses that they've played. I would say, absolutely.
You're making me think. You're making me want to switch.
No. You already made it.
I can't
you're locked
switch.
in.
All right, I'm locked in.
No, if you want to switch, you can.
Nope,
but
I'm locked in. We're
I'm
locked
just
in.
saying. I was gonna give you that
Monday
insight.
night, last game of the week. We have the Dallas Cowgirls heading into LA to face off against the Chargers. They're 2.5-point favorites. I don't know.
I'll start this one off since you don't know. First of all, the Cowboys are fraudulent. They are fraudulent. They are the Dallas Cowgirls. I don't know why they're America's team. They shouldn't be. Stephen A. would sit right here and back me up. Going into Los Angeles, going into the Chargers' house. Give me the Chargers plus 2.5. Give me them
fresh
outright.
off a bye.
Fresh off the bye. Austin
Herbert
Eckler
has been
is back.
balling. Keenan Allen has been also balling.
Keenan Allen's been incredible this year.
Eckler's coming
Phenomenal.
back. Supposed to come back this week.
He's playing this week. He's playing.
I just think this game might be a low-scoring slugfest. I think the Chargers come out on top. I like Dallas. I don't think they're 100% fraudulent. Their defense is a force. I believe it's still a force. I just believe that this Chargers team coming off a bye, everyone's rested, everyone's going to come back healthy. I got to go with the Chargers. Give me the Chargers with the 2.5 and them outright.
Yeah, definitely. I think the one thing to look for, though, this is the only thing that concerns me slightly, is this Cowboys defensive line. They're not playing no Niners offensive line this week. Niners offensive line clamped them, like straight up.
Justin Herbert will have to throw the ball at, I would say, an accelerated pace.
Yes.
Quicker than usual. They might throw a lot more checkdowns than we've seen lately. There's going to be a lot of short routes, in my opinion, a lot of slants, a lot of dig routes, a lot of short, quick passes. I mean, but I believe that that's what it's going to take to get it done against this Cowboys defense, throwing the ball.
Yeah. That being said, well, if you have Austin Eckler, I'm throwing it into the flat every time. Let him do his thing, get his yards after the catch. But that being said, we're going to end it off on the Los Angeles Chargers. We're both agreeing on plus 2.5.
Yeah.
Yeah. Give me the Chargers plus 2.5 and their money line. Dallas is fraudulent. All right, I'm not going to say they're not going to make the playoffs. They're probably going to make the playoffs, but I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't because they are not a good team. They're a first-round exit, for sure. First-round exit.
Okay.
I can see it.
It's a little bit too early to be making playoff predictions. You guys got a lot to worry about too.
Yeah, we do.
A lot to worry about.
Well, we'll be fine. We'll be fine down the end.
Whole
down the
lot of
stretch.
stuff.
All right, we're gonna get a couple
the list
guys
is
back.
probably
All
this
right,
long
all right.
of stuff I gotta
This
worry
guy's
about
crazy.
here.
Don't listen to him. All right, but that being said, that was this week's episode of Chow Time Sports. I'm Chow.
I'm Pete. Thanks for riding with us, and we'll see you all next week. Thank you.